Hi guys, it's Destiny from DeskFix and welcome back to another video in the channel. In this one, I'm going to go ahead and continue creating the models. We'll be creating the hotel gallery, we'll be creating the features, the facts, and a whole lot of models that we'll be needing for this project. That is what we'll be doing. To make sure to drop a like on the video, consider subscribing as to really mean the world to me. So let's go ahead and get started. I will open up my code editor one more time and hop back to the models PY. And I should minimize the terminal so that you guys can see what's going on here. And let's continue creating the models. I will create a new one. I will call it Hotel Gallery, and it should inherit from models.model. And I want to create a new field here called hotel. This one should be models.foreign key, and it should inherit from the hotel model. On delete should be models.obviously cascade. And why I'm passing this in is because I want this hotel over here to be related to this gallery, which means whatever image that we upload in this gallery will be associated to a hotel. Don't worry, when we save this model, you will better understand what's going on and how this should work. So after we've passed this in, then we need to pass in the image field. This one should be models.file field. That should be file field. And where should we upload it to? Remember, we created something similar to this here. You can actually grab that and just paste it down here, and that should work. Fix the indentation. And finally, if you want, you can go ahead and pass in a HID field, which is hotel gallery ID. Okay. So hotel gallery ID, and that should be it. We're pretty much done. All you want to do is copy the string representation and just put it down here. And if you want, you could also put in the variable's name for this. The string representation should be hotel.name. Okay. Wrap all this in a string so we don't get an error. And finally, let's create a verbose name. So verbose underscore plural underscore name. I think that should be verbose underscore name plural. This should be what? Depends on what you want to call it, but I will call mine hotel gallery. That should be it. Now we want to create another one which is called hotel features. So class hotel features. I hope that was the right spelling though. Then we'll say models.model. We also need this hotel field down here. So I'm speeding this up because we've actually created this model over here. And I think creating models shouldn't be a big problem. So that's why I'm actually speeding this up, because we have a lot of models to create. So we pass in features. I also need icon type. This should be models.char field. The max length should be, I don't know, let's say 100. Null can be true, blank can be true, and we need choices. So choices should be icon underscore type. Okay, so icon type. Now we need to go ahead and actually create this tuple somewhere here at the top. You could duplicate this one, paste this down here. Then let's start off by creating the first one. Let's say bootstrap icons, and also font awesome icons. Font awesome icons. I think these are the two that I know. You could add other ones like box icons, and you could even add Remy icons. I think, yeah, there are some like Remy icons. Okay, I think I actually missed this at the end review. Remy icons. You could even add flat icons if you want. Okay, so for features, remember the demo, we actually have this stuff that when you pass in things like a conditioner and let's say parking space and dogs are allowed as features, then you can actually add a little icon to actually make it look more, more user friendly and modern. Okay, so that's why we're trying to pass in this icon type. Don't worry, you will see how this works when we actually start working with this. So after we've done this, the next thing the next field that we want to add should be the actual icon itself. So the icon should be models dot, it will be a char field, and it should have a max length of 100. Let me make this so that you guys can see what's going on. Okay, so you should have a max length of 100. And what else do we need? Let's say null can be true, blank can be true, and we also need the name of the icon. It should exactly be the same thing as this one. I will just say name. Okay, so blank can be true, null can be true, the same thing. And if you want, you can also pass in an ID in here. Hotel features, do we need the HG ID? I don't know, let's just leave that. I don't think we need it now. Then we need this string representation and verbose naming. This should be self dot the name of the icon. Okay, self dot the name of the icon, and this one should be hotel features. That's perfect. Now we also need the hotel frequently asked questions. So class hotel facts should be model should inherit from models dot model. The first one is the hotel, remember that. The next one is the question that the user is gonna ask. So that should be models dot char field. Max length could be as much as 1000. It's up to you how you want to do that. This one should be the answer. So remember, it's question and answer. So a frequently asked question, then you will answer. But for the answer, pass in null should be true and blank should be true. Because sometimes a user might ask a question and immediately they don't have an answer. So we want to actually make this null true, blank true, so we don't break the application and show an error. Okay, finally, let's add a date. This should be models dot date time field. Auto now add should be true. And if you want, you could go ahead and pass in this HID. It's not really needed for this one. Let's just leave it. Okay. And another thing that we will need over here is the string representation and also the verbose name. So pass this in. This should be hotel or self dot question, not hotel. And this should be hotel facts. All right, there you go. So what other model do we need? We need the class room type. This should inherit from models, the model. I hope you're keeping up with me. And firstly, we need the hotel. Remember that. And secondly, we need the type of the hotel. This should be models.char field. But this char field is gonna have a okay, let's just give it a max length of 10. Don't worry, you guys should see why we need all these fields and how they will work. Now, room type should have a price. So room type, for example, let's say it's a king type of room, or it's a king bedroom, and the price for that is 20 USD. Now we will have another one that will be the actual room. So the king bedroom might have 6 rooms in it. Now we will be storing the number of room and the capacity that the room can hold in another model, but not this one. So price should be models dot decimal field, and max digits should be 12, which means we can hold as much as 12 max digits in there. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so we can hold up to 100,000 million billion. Okay, and we need decimal places. I think so. We need 2 decimal places, and default should be 0.00. That's the default price of the room. Okay, so how many number of beds are in the king room? Number of beds should be equal to models dot, let's use a positive integer field, because number of beds should not get to minus or anything like that. Default should be, you can make this default should be 1, but let's start with default 0. Okay, How about room capacity? So how many people can this room hold? Room capacity. I hope that's the right capacity. Okay. I think that's enough. Then if you want, you could go ahead and put in the room ID. Let me grab this. HID. This is gonna be room RTID. I hope you know, or you've actually figured how I'm actually, adding these IDs. This is RTID, which means room type ID. This one over here was hotel gallery. So hotel gallery ID, HD ID. This one here is HID, which is hotel ID. Okay, that's just my own way of doing things. And we can also pass in slug in here. Let me grab the slug field from the hotel and let's put it down here. I also need the date from the hotel facts. Let's put it down here and we're done. Let's grab the verbose name and the string representation of the object, put it here. Then you could say self.type. Let's change the F formatted string. You know what? I will get rid of this. Let's use an F formatted string instead. Then I will say self.type should be the very first one, and also self.hotel.name and also self.price. So as you can see, you can only not do self.question or self.name. You can still append this, but make sure to use F formatted string. So you can use curly brackets or braces to append more data in there. Okay. And we could actually add a room count, but we don't have a room model yet. Guess what? I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Then when we have a room model, that should work. So rooms count, then over here, I will just pass in self. Then I want to say room, which is a model that doesn't exist yet, dot object dot filter. And I want to filter by room underscore type should be equal to self. Please do not get confused. We will create the room model in the next one. But what I'm pretty much doing over here is this. In the room type, whenever I call the room count, it will automatically count all the rooms that are related to this room type and return either 1 or 6 or 10, depending on the number of rooms that are available for that. Don't worry, you will see how this works. Please do not get confused by this. Let's grab the slug field. Remember how we did the slug thing? I think we need that again here. This one, it's almost the same thing, but you just need to change this room type to this over here, and that should work. Let's also create a new model, room models.model, and you already know the drill. The hotel goes in here, and another one which will be the room type, which will pretty much be a foreign key to the room type at the top here. We paste it down here, which means this room now will be associated with the hotel and also with a room type, which means, let's say this room type over here is the king bedroom. Then this room over here will be the one that actually checks the available rooms in the king bedroom, or the rooms that have already been checked in, and stores the room number, and things like that. Let's go ahead and create this so you have a better understanding of what's going on. Now, room number should be equal to models dot, let's use a positive integer field. If you want, you can still use let's use a char field, because a user might actually not want to give a room a number. They might want to give their room an ID. Let's say they might want to give a room like, I don't know the kind of ID that you want to give. Let's say I or II or III, which are Roman numerals, and they don't want to just use pure integer. They want to use Roman numerals. So for that, use a char field. Okay. Let's just say the max length should be 100. It's up to you how you want to do this. You know what? I will just put 1. I would even put 1,000, because the room, imagine that they're using just raw IDs, and this particular room over here has like 1,000 rooms in them. So you want to make this to go up to 1,000. Okay. Then we also want to check if the room is available. This should be models.boolean field, and default should be, by default, a room should be available. Yes. Also, you'll know the drill, the RID, that's the room ID. And finally, the date. Okay, let's see what other models do we need. We're almost done creating the models. As you can see now, this doesn't return an error any longer because we've created the models that it needs. But we just need to return the string representation and the verbose name. Please, I want you to change this, okay? So that, because if I forget, I don't want you to forget that, okay? Change this to room type. Let's see at the top. Okay, yeah, every other one works well. This one over here will be rooms. Okay, and I think that's about it. Let's create some, like, I want to create the price. This one is just to return the price of the room type. Okay, so this should be self. Then over here we just want to return self dot room type dot price. So whenever we call this price in this room model, remember that this doesn't have any field called price. But remember that it's associated with a model here called room type, which has a field called price. So by doing this, I will want to be able to access this price field in this model. Okay. So after you've done that, we also need the number of bed. So number of bed, remember it's in this one. I will just grab that and say number of bed, self, and I want to return self dot room type dot number of bed, and that should work well. That's pretty much it. Now we're almost coming to the end. We need to create a new class, and I will call that one booking, and that should be models dot model. Actually, this would be a very interesting course, because I can actually already think of a lot of cool things that we will be doing. So remember, this would be a foreign key to the user, and on delete should be equal to models dot cascade. Let's just say set null. So if a user gets deleted, we don't want to delete the transaction from our database. Null should be true, blank should be true. Okay, I hope you're still following along. And after we've done that, let's also go ahead and add in a payment status. Payment underscore status should be equal to models dot char field. The max length can go as much as let's say 100, and the choices here will be payment underscore status. Now you already know the drill. We need to go ahead and create a tuple for this. Come over to the top. You can highlight this. Let me go with this one instead. Put it down here, and over here I will just grab this. Wow, we already have a lot of models, and I will put it here. So payment status, let's start off with paid, and pending. I will make this ones to be smaller letters. Okay, then let's go create for processing, and also for cancelled. Let me get rid of this. Duplicate this, cancelled, initiated. I think we also need field in case a payment failed, and also refunding. I think that's a nice feature that we should add in case a user wants to cancel their booking and refund. Then refunded, which means we've actually refunded the user, and final two should be on paid, and finally expired, which means a user actually tried making a payment but they couldn't make the payment, and now it's expired. There you go. So I think that's pretty much it. We can now go ahead and continue creating the models, the model fields. The next one that we need is the user's full name. That would be a char field. So you could just do that quickly by grabbing one of these, put them down here, change this to full name. Then you could duplicate this in 3 places. This one should be mobile, and this one should be phone. Uh-oh, that's not it. This one should be email. Okay, email. You can make that an email field instead of chat field, and this last one should be phone. Okay, now we also need the foreign key of hotel. So a user is trying to book a hotel. That means book a room in a hotel. That means the booking should actually know what hotel they're trying to book. Okay, so foreign key back to the hotel. But I want you guys to pass in set null true, so that if this hotel gets deleted, we don't delete the transaction of the booking in our database. And also we need a room type. For the room type, you could simply grab this one over here and put it down here quickly, as you can see. Down, remember the drill again. You could go ahead and pass in the on delete. Set null. You already know what that does. We also need the type of room that the user is booking. This one should be models dot many to many field, because one booking might actually have many rooms in them. Okay, and we also need before discount. So before we give the user a discount, what was the original price? Decimal field. Max digit should be 12. Remember that. Decimal places should be 2. Default should be 0.00. Okay, I could just duplicate this in 1, 2 places. This one should be total. This one should be saved. So the total price of the hotel that they're trying to book, this is how much that is saved. Okay, now we also need check underscore in underscore date. This one should be equal to models dot date field. I want you to leave it empty. And also we need checkout date. Check out date. You can also leave that empty. And we also need the total days that the user will be staying. So total days should be equal to models dot positive integer field. Default should be 0. And we also need the number of adults. Default should be 1. So num adults, the adults default should be 1. And we also need num what? Children. You guessed that right if you did. So num children default should also be, I think the default for the num children should be 0. So someone might be trying to book a room without any kids. Okay, and checked in and checked out. So this is pretty much for keeping track of if the user has checked in or if they have checked out. So checked in should be equal to models the boolean field. The default should be false, and also this one should be checked out. So if a user check in, let's say now they will actually check in next tomorrow. When they check in at the counter or something, then the receptionist or someone there will then check this or mark this as checked in. Then when they've completed their stay and they're going out, then this will be marked as checked out. As simple as that. Okay. We also need another one which is called is active, which means someone is already, or this booking is now active, which means they have already started staying in the room or they've checked in. Okay. This one will be models the boolean field to, I think I'm running out of battery here. This will be models the boolean field. Default will be false. And we need a checked in tracker. Checked in tracker and checked out tracker will still be boolean fields. So this is just for programming logic. I will show you guys how all this will work. So checked in, checked out underscore tracker. Okay. We also need a date and we need this. So I will grab that 2 things and put it down here. Remember it's booking ID, so it will be BID. And we also need coupons. We don't have coupons yet, but let's just say we don't have coupons yet. So let's not put that in right now. And I will say Stripe payment intent should be models dot char field mxle, which is the max length should be 1,000 characters, and null can be true, blank can be true. Okay, and I think that's pretty much it. We just need success ID and finally booking ID. So this BID here should be booking underscore ID. Okay, so we could hop over to the top. Remember, we usually grab this here. Then we just need to paste it down here and change up a couple of things. For this one, I just want to return the booking ID. And let's get rid of every other representation that we've got over here. Okay, I think that should be pretty much it. One last thing that we could do is just go ahead and define the count of the rooms. So that in the booking, we actually have, like a field where we can count the rooms. So let's just say room count, or you could just say rooms. Okay, so rooms should be equal to, then over here, we could just put self. Then let's go ahead and return. Then we return self rooms dot all dot count. So why are we doing it this way? This rooms over here is pretty much a field that's in here. And as you can see, it's a many to many field, which means we need to firstly get every instance that's associated to the room, then we count it. And with this, I think that's pretty much it. We are done. Then let's go ahead and create activity log. This one will inherit from models.model. So in case you're asking what is activity log, whenever a user actually check in to the hotel or to their room, and let's say they want to go out to get something, so whenever they leave or get in, we have to store an activity of their movement. Okay, so by 2 p.m. in the afternoon, they actually left to maybe for a walk, and they returned by 5 p.m. in the evening. So that's pretty much what activity log is. And I think it's a very nice feature that should help with security reasons and things like that, So in case something goes wrong, we can easily go back to the system and actually check when they left and then return and things like that, So this one is going to be on delete should be equal to models.cascade. Okay, and after that we should just put a staff. Okay, this one should be guest out should be models.date time field. Don't fill it in, just leave it blank, because the receptionist at the table or at the counter, I don't know the right word for the staff that should do that, will be the one to actually check the time that they left and the time that they returned. Okay, so let's say the user, whenever they want to leave, they have to maybe tender something like an ID. I don't know how the hotel runs it. So whenever they tender an ID or something indicating that they want to leave, or maybe asking for a permission to leave or something like that, then the staff at the counter will then have to check this as guest out. And when they return, the staff will also have to check this as guest in. Okay, so when they return and when they came in. And let's also put a description field over here. So the staff at the counter might also still ask the user, okay, so please, can you give us more details about where you're going to or what you're about to do? Then they can store it in the system. Okay, for more security reasons. So actually, let's say the user is about to leave 2 p.m. in the afternoon, and they will tell the staff that, okay, I'm going for a walk, or I want to walk my dog, or I want to go get something like that. That the staff will then have to put that in the system. And after the staff have put that to the system, then when they get back in, the staff will then have to choose the time that they got in. Okay, so whenever we query the system and we actually notice that guest in is not filled in, that means at this particular time, they did not return back to the hotel. So that's how it works. Now for this one, I will just say null should be equal to true, and also blank should be equal to true. Okay, as simple as that. And finally, I think we also need a date. I will grab the date from over here and I will just put it down here. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it. Let's just put a string representation of this object. I don't know what you want to call it, but I will just go with the staff. Why do I keep saying the staff? I will go with the booking ID. So I've been saying staff and staff and staff. I think we should just go ahead and create the staff on duty model. So models.model. Now staff on duty model is pretty much the staff that's on duty when the user actually checked in. So let's say I have a room that I will be checking in on the 1st of December. Now, when I get to the counter and tender my ID or order number and something like that, so the staff that is on the counter that day will have to put in their staff ID and, things like that. So we associate them with the booking. Now, if something goes wrong and maybe there's a questioning or something that's going on, then we will know the right staff to actually meet and, ask questions and things like that. So I will grab the booking from here and I'll put it, as you can see, the booking is associated with the staff on duty, and we also need a staff ID. So I don't know, it's up to you how you want to generate the staff ID, or, how you want to do this. I don't know how your hotel works or how the system is going to work. Maybe when you employ some new staff, you have to give them an ID and things like that. So they will have to put in their ID in here. So whenever you want to ask question in regards to a booking, you just get the ID from here and query it on your user table or something like that. Then it should work. I don't really know how your system works, but I'm just structuring this based on a general idea. Okay, so staff ID, max length should be 100. Null can be true, blank can be true. Okay, and after that, finally, let's just go ahead and put in a date. So the particular date when the staff actually filled this in to confirm that they are associated with that exact booking. All right, there you go. That's it. Now let's also create a string representation of this object. That should be, I think we should go with staff ID this time around. Now let's also go ahead and create a coupon model, class coupon model. Or should we actually leave this for the next one? Maybe we could just leave this for the next video. This video is getting actually long. Yeah, maybe we'll just leave it for the next video. And the next video, we'll create the coupon model, the coupon users, the room service, the notification, the bookmark, and the review, and we should be done. That's going to be it. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the video. Do make sure to drop a like. But before that, I just missed out one thing. Let's actually configure the admin. You already know how the admin works. It actually takes a lot of time to configure the admin. So I want you guys to come over here, import all the models that we just created, the booking, the activity log, the staff ID, the room type, and all that. Then I want you guys to register it. If you don't want to do this admin model admin registration, just put this down here, admin.site or register, and register booking just like this, and it should work. Okay, so this one is just my own way of doing things to add more customizations. But if you don't want to do this, you can just register it this way. So there is a task for you. I want you to go ahead and register all the bookings in the admin panel and wait till the next video. Then we're going to go ahead and finish it off. Then you'll have another task to complete before we start working on creating the core functionalities. Trust me, it will really be amazing. That is it for this video. Make sure to drop a like, consider subscribing, as it really means the world to me. And I hope to see you in the next video. Until then, mad love, peace out.